First story. Am I the a-hole for causing my husband to miss his brother's wedding by having him fix the toilet? To start, me and my husband's brother, aka my brother-in-law, have always been on bad terms. We don't see each other much, and we're not really mean to each other, but more like don't like each other. My brother-in-law was getting married this past week. He only invited my husband, which is fine, really, because I wasn't planning on attending his wedding. Really, no big deal. The day of the wedding, my husband couldn't take the day off, but came home early to get ready to go to the wedding, which was 3 hours away. The toilet stopped working and needed to be fixed. I'm 7 months pregnant and I frequent the bathroom many times a day. I asked my husband for 5 minutes to look at the toilet, and he suggested he'd fix it when he gets back. But the smell of unflushed pee gets me nauseous. So I tried to convince him to at least try and it might work. He took a look and said it needed fixing, which would take 10 to 15 minutes. I asked him to do it, even though he refused, but he did it anyway. He took long and didn't pay attention to time. He freaked out, saying he should be driving at the time, but I insisted he finish fixing the last part, and he barely did. He was mad and got dressed quickly and left. Turns out he arrived late and missed the ceremony, and made it to the last part of the wedding. He was mad at me for causing him to miss a huge part of his brother's wedding, and said his brother was upset and disappointed he wasn't there to support him. He argued, saying I made him late, only because I couldn't go to the wedding. But I said that this is not true because even if he had sent me an invitation, I would have declined to come. He then said that it must be because I hate his brother and what I did was a petty attempt to make him miss his wedding, especially since I could have waited till he got back to fix the toilet. He's still mad at me for missing the wedding till this day. Now the top comments. You're the a-hole. You could have called someone to fix it. You could have just dealt with it. You knew he was on a timer, but rather than value his time, you chose to value your wants instead. Not sure how long ago this was, but don't be surprised if your husband resents you for this. You made him disappoint his brother, and clearly he is upset about it. You're the a-hole. I don't think you were malicious, but there was no need to have him deal with this when he was on schedule to get driving. What if the toilet had broken down 5 minutes after he left? You would deal with it then. Call a plumber, plunge it yourself, use a bucket of water to flush it, pee in the shower even. If he was able to fix the problem without going to the store for parts, then it was simple enough for you to handle. You're the a-hole. I understand you're pregnant and have to go to the bathroom frequently, but it's your husband's brother. Call a handyman. There are hundreds of them in every place. You are a big a-hole for making him miss his brother's wedding. I really do wonder if you made him fix it because you don't like his brother. Second story. Am I the a-hole for moving my baby brother's bed to my parents and locking my door? My parents had me, 16-year-old male, kinda young, and just last year they decided to have another baby. My brother Leo is 2 months old. I love him, but he cries non-stop every night. My dad and his friends are doing some renovations to the bedroom downstairs, which was supposed to be Leo's room, but some stuff came up and it got delayed now. They told me for a little while Leo is gonna be in my room, because my dad needs to get up early for work and he can't sleep if my brother is in their room. It's been annoying AF. Leo cries. It takes my mom time to get to my room, then she turns on the lamp in my room and it takes like half an hour sometimes for her to get him back to sleep. I really hate it. I've kept talking to them about when his room is gonna be ready. My parents say it's gonna be a while, but they still said no, he can't be in the room with them. Monday night I got really annoyed because my mom was knocked out, so I had to get up and change his diapers at like 3 in the morning. When it was nighttime, I moved his crib to their room and told them that I'm tired of hearing him cry all the time in my room. My mom started telling me stuff, then my dad did too when he got home. But I locked my door from the inside. They gave up and said fine. If that's what I want, they can keep my brother in their room. My dad was pissed the next day when he got home, cause I'm sure Leo woke him up whenever my mom needed to do something. Actually, they both look really mad at me. Then my mom told me I acted real unfair to them, and we're a family who handles stuff together. So she doesn't think it's right I'm not trying to help them a little here with my brother. So yeah, she does think I'm an a-hole for that, since Leo being in my room means my dad does have to wake up every time my mom needs to feed him, or whatever. And he's the one who also provides for us. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your sibling is not your responsibility. They need to actually take the role of the parent and be sleep deprived like the rest of us. It's tough, but that's what they decided. They have no right. Downright not the a-hole. This is plain hypocrisy to blame you for finding the crying disturbing and complaining about it when your father feels the exact same way. If it bothers him, it bothers you. The only difference is he is the parent and you didn't sign up for this, nor are you responsible for your brother. I didn't understand why he has to be in a designated room. He can be in the living room or in the hallway. Your immature father has to deal with his own son and the accompanied burdens. Leo sounds really annoying. You don't need to be sleep deprived and miserable because of Leo. Too bad your father signed up for a mission which he doesn't want to do. As a parent, you don't push your child to another room and ignore him altogether. If you deal with the familial stuff together, she shouldn't be the only one to take care of Leo, and you shouldn't be the only one enduring his restless nights. Not the a-hole, this is absolutely ridiculous. You're still a kid yourself. Maybe help with a diaper, or feeding, or some cuddles during waking hours. Maybe even let your mom or dad take a nap while you take him for a walk in a stroller. But no. Not the night duty. Teens need their sleep. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. I like playing with Leo, or we go to the park across the street during the day. Third story. Am I the a-hole for forcing my husband to go to work an hour earlier? My husband has a very hard time working in the mornings. He sets a ridiculous amount of alarms, and it's the root of one of our common petty arguments. He will set 5-minute intervals for 1 whole hour. If he is trying to wake up at like 7:30 a.m., his alarm will start at 6:30 a.m. and go off every 5 minutes, and he takes a while to snooze. It's miserable for me. I go to work at 9 a.m. on some days, and other days I'm able to shift my schedule to 7:30 a.m. So on those days, I look forward to being able to sleep in just a little longer. Obviously, I can't do that if an obnoxious alarm is going off every 5 minutes. It's so loud that on days I want to sleep in because I don't have work, his alarm will wake our baby in the other room, which means I have to get up at 7 a.m. on my rare days off. I have begged him to try harder, I've offered compromise, I have asked him to shift his alarms to maybe 30 minutes so I can get extra 30 minutes shut-eye, but he's convinced that he won't wake up if he doesn't have that many alarms. Some days he'll completely miss to wake up and be very late for work, but that's because he plays game on his phone at night and falls asleep and forgets to charge his phone. Today, I decided I wasn't going to take it any longer. It was my day to sleep in until 7:30 a.m., but the alarms started at 6:30. Again at 6:35, another at 6:40. At 6:45, I turned on the lights and yelled at him to get up and leave. He was startled, asking, "Why? It's still early." I said, "If you're gonna set alarms that early, you're going to get up and leave early." I told him it's ridiculous that everyone around him needs to suffer because he can't get himself on a better sleep schedule. He started saying, "Well, I guess I'll just not set my alarms and keep getting late and then I'll get fired." He stormed off and went to work. And now he's really upset that he's at work an hour earlier than he should be there. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. Snoozing through alarms for an hour doesn't help you wake up. It basically trains you to turn off the alarm while you're sleeping. Set one alarm and put your phone across the room and you will wake up. That is extremely selfish and obnoxious of him. Not the a-hole. He is acting like a petulant 11-year-old. One snooze. He should get one snooze. Beyond that, he is an annoyance to the rest of the house. Desperate measures. You won't have to do this for long. After one snooze, get up and turn the lights to the room on. Every time. He will figure it out. I just told my husband to invest in a vibrating watch, and he immediately shut it down, saying they don't work for heavy sleepers. This is what I'm saying about him not even willing to compromise. Fourth story. Am I the a-hole for confronting my wife for buying my birthday gift with my money? My wife and I have been married for 2 years. I recently noticed, after reviewing bank statements, that she's been buying my birthday gifts with my money for the past 2 years. I didn't notice the first year since it was not super expensive. We have a shared account to pay bills, but then we also have our individual credit/debit cards for personal expenses. She's an authorized user on my credit card, but she'll only use it if I ask her to buy something for me, such as work clothes. She bought me a Rolex watch this year for my birthday, and I felt bad since I didn't get her anything nearly as expensive for a birthday gift, and I told her she shouldn't have. I also wondered how she could afford it unless she's been saving. She said she wanted to do something nice for me, and she knew I liked it. One day I was attempting to buy a coffee before heading to work, and my card was declined. I called the bank and they told me why they blocked the purchase. After reviewing the online statement, it does show the watch on my account, and that's not my usual spending habits. I talked to my wife about it, and she said, "I thought I was using the shared account. I must have pulled out the wrong card by accident. I'm sorry." I told her to return it because it's an unnecessary expense, and she told me, "Just keep it. You can afford it. You know you wanted one anyway. Please appreciate me wanting to do something nice for you." Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. Purchases that cost several thousands of dollars should be 1. Made with one's own money, 2. Saved for, 3. Discussed prior to using a joint account. I'd be livid if I bought myself a Rolex I haven't budgeted for. Serious red flag, OP. Oh yeah, she's trying to use sex to make it up to me too, so that I'm not trying to figure out how to return this thing. Not the a-hole. I'm a bankruptcy attorney and this is a major red flag. The ability to throw $5,000+ on a random card without being sure it's going on the correct card is a sign that there are many other problems going on here. As far as the current incident goes, whether she drained your personal account without telling you, or maxed out your credit card without telling you, this is a major issue that bears discussion. If she's maxing out the joint bills account without telling you, that is even worse. Please open a Credit Karma account for yourself to see how much debt she's put in your name, if any. You should also ask her to show you her Credit Karma account if you have any interest or expectation of bailing her out of her debt or wanting to know how much she owes. Not the a-hole. She is stealing and not okay. Her trying to minimize the purchase and dissuade you from canceling it makes me think this might have been intentional. I think it definitely was intentional. She never uses my card for anything unless I directly ask her to buy something for me, and I don't want her to spend her money for it. Different incomes. Last story. Am I the a-hole for getting my brother-in-law a book about narcissism for his birthday? Hear me out, please. I, 36-year-old male, don't get along with my brother-in-law, 30-year-old male, sister's husband, for several reasons. He's a brutally honest guy who says what's on his mind without any hesitation. My sister and I grew up very close, and we still are, but her husband clearly doesn't like it. Hell, he even accused me of being in love with her, and his logic is that I help take care of my nephews, so in his rational mind, the fact that I enjoy helping take care of my nephews means I'm in love with their mother. Go figure. He used to joke about mine and my wife's infertility with comments like, "Are you guys pregnant yet? You guys are pushing 40, you gotta hurry up and make some grandchildren." Or my favorite, "Maybe you guys can't have kids cause you're both men?" It's insulting, but the family says he's like this with everyone, so it's not personal. Whenever my wife and I had a celebration, say a birthday or an anniversary, my brother-in-law would use it as a chance to talk about his kids getting A+, or winning a game, or even talk about an ultrasound appointment and turn it into his celebration. You could say how much frustrating that is. I've kept my distance, but I see my sister and nephews regularly. Days ago was my brother-in-law's 30th birthday. He called me saying he wanted me there to share his joy with family. I apologized and said no, but he kept pressuring me saying he had a surprise for me and my wife. I knew he was up to no good. Probably some brutal honesty. He said, "Don't forget my gift." I was lost, thinking what I should give him based on his behavior for the past year. The family was there and my brother-in-law already started asking if my wife and I had something to announce. My wife and I froze. Then he said, "Ha ha ha, that's what I thought." My wife got upset and left early. When it was time for gift opening, I gave him the gift I bought, and once he opened it, he was shocked. The gift was a book about narcissism called "Why Is It Always About You?" He looked at me shocked, and I said, "It's a good read, trust me." Everyone kept staring, and he got so upset and stormed off to the bathroom. My sister followed, and I heard him yell in the bathroom. I said, "Well, I'd better go." But my parents went off on me, calling me disrespectful, mean, and rude for this tasteless, insulting gift. I tried to point out that this was the outcome of how he's been treating me and my wife, who left earlier, and they didn't even notice her. They kept arguing, saying he was just teasing us and that I was out of line to just say he was a narcissist. Then I left. Mom kept calling to say I messed up and ruined the man's birthday and should apologize to him profusely, or not be surprised if I can't see my sister and nephews again, which made me upset because I adore my nephews so much. It's been days and things have been tense between us. I miss my nephews and am thinking of apologizing for what I did. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. He's allowed to make hurtful jokes, but you can't? Honestly, in my opinion, that gift is harmless. There are two ways a narcissist will react to being called a narcissist. They will agree or they will blow up. He did the latter. He upset your wife with yet another joke about infertility, but buying him a damn book is crossing the line? All of your family sucks. I would maybe talk to your sister privately about his behavior and why you bought that gift. Not the a-hole. He's allowed to joke, but you're not. You were treating him exactly the way he's been treating you, so why is it a problem now? Normally, I'd say, eesh, because you did sink to his level, but honestly, the way your family is only mad at you makes me think you did the right thing. No one is holding this man accountable for his actions, and that's absurd. Not the a-hole. You might want to reconsider your relationship with your parents and your sister if they continue to support someone who is so deliberately hurtful to you and your wife. Like all entitled a-holes, your brother-in-law can dish it out but not take it. Unfortunately, since it seems no one is going to tell him he got what he deserved, he'll bounce back to his a-holey self. Have a few pithy words with your parents. If they hold their swampy ground, then reduce or eliminate contact. Their support of brother-in-law's cruelty to your wife should not be tolerated. And you should have done this years ago.